welcome to Pub versus Boardroom, where two reasonably well-spoken men solve the crisis that is modern Britain with a combination of anecdotes, banter, business questions, and acumen, and lots of questions and answers. If you have questions and answers, if you just have questions or comments, in fact, if you've got answers as well.
They've got more answers than we do.
Yeah, probably. Just a quick reminder, if you enjoy it, like, subscribe, join the literally several people who've watched this and found it moderately entertaining, including ourselves, and keep watching.
I think most of the people that found it were probably looking for Louis Theroux.
Yeah, that was one of the feedback comments from other viewers. Like, why am I like? Is it because I ask the obvious questions or the questions that people are afraid of answering? Like, for example, do you stand up when you're peeing?
Again, like the leg shaving question of a few weeks ago.
Well, answer the question.
What is the alternative?
Sitting down. Less mess, no splashes.
No, men weren't built to sit down.
Men weren't
to go for a wee.
Why not?
That's
you're not on all fours, are you?
If men were...
Are you cleaning the bathroom?
I have cleaned bathrooms.
Do you clean it every time you use it?
No.
Right. So when you had very small children...
Yes.
Answer me this.
Yes.
Did you witness these small children touching everything that they could reach and immediately putting it into their mouths? Their hands, that is.
Not that I remember. And I don't remember having small children. They were born enormous, both of my children.
As was I. However, I've been told that when I was very small, the first thing I did as a child, and I've witnessed this, having had children myself, that is exactly what they do. Everything that they can reach, they touch, and it immediately goes into their mouths. So you've immediately become extremely self-conscious about the microscopic little spots of urine that you might not be able to see. I know it's a bit gross. Okay, but they're basically putting it in the mouth.
This is your autism.
That is why I started sitting down. So I pee,
Alex,
like a girl.
This is just wrong. This is wrong on so many levels.
Why?
This is your autism coming out again.
Go on then.
And you're in danger of perpetuating your autism. Let me tell you, licking urine cures autism.
I think that's the other way around. Autism cures licking urine.
No, children, by their very nature, have to get down and dirty. They have to. Let me rephrase that.
We're going to get a strike. I can feel it in my bones.
They have to experience dirt. I mean, my mum still tells the story of when she came out one day to find me playing in the garden with my tongue stuck out with a snail crawling along my tongue because I didn't know what it was, and I put it. You're right. Toddlers naturally put things in their mouths.
Yeah, I quite like snails. You mustn't.
No, this was uncooked.
That's fine. You mustn't let dogs eat them because they have.
I've got a dog. It's not an animal.
All the same, they do carry a parasite which is very bad for dogs. I don't like slugs.
Hang on, it's bad for dogs, but it's not bad for me.
Yeah, you're probably more robust. There's I think it's called lungworm, and it's carried by snails and members of their family.
What, daddy snail?
Let's not go down the daddy-child mollusk route. We've already done that with eels. But no, snails I don't mind. Slugs I'm terrified of.
What?
Yeah, I don't like the homeless.
See, I didn't. Well done. Well done.
I genuinely am. I really hate slugs to the point where I can't be near them. If I'm in a room with a slug, I have to be. I don't know why there are slugs in the room with me in the first place. But I will start. I'm not even feeling brilliant. You've been talking about it, so we're going to stop talking about slugs because I'm going to be Margaret Thatcher in a tub of beans on a cold day. Anything but slugs.
I'm not prepared to sacrifice standing urination, which is one of my human rights, and something that
You're a savage.
One of.
Peeing against a tree, that's different. That's a requirement.
It's one of the great privileges of being male is to pee standing up. And I think part of the women's lib movement was based on the fact that they were so upset about not pee standing up.
But they can have a she-wee. Does that mean that a woman could use a she-wee and then pee standing up in your bathroom?
It's an accessory. It's unnatural. It's so inconvenient sitting down to go for a pee.
Well, it's relaxing.
It's not.
And restful.
No, it's really not.
Paper, do a crossword.
Just get in there, bada bing, get out again. No, I'm a standing peeing man, and I will be, hopefully, till my dying day, unless I'm using a bedpan at some point in my latter stages.
Okay. You're in your latter stages.
Shut up. I mean, much latter than this.
Oh, dear.
I'm not bedpanning yet.
Well, some might say that that's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the comments that we had
was
really enjoyed us talking about romance, not urine, romance, and men talking about men stuff that otherwise they didn't talk about. And I'll tell you that men don't really talk to each other about various different sensitive things, and sometimes it's a bit of a shock to them when they're talking about a difficult conversation. Like, when was the last time you talked to another man about urination? We actually, in episode 2, we talk about prostate exam, and that was really useful for me. And one of my guys is probably going to have one. Oh, sorry, one of my staff. I have a team of 5, 6 people currently. He's likely to have a prostate exam, so just chat him through. He's 15 years older than me, but it's still new to him. So you're going to be fine. Jet lag treatment, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But he'd been very ill, so I'm not going to talk about it. But apart from that,
not the subject for humour.
Not the subject for humour, but nevertheless, it's an important subject that people should be comfortable talking about, because men don't talk to each other about health. I mean, you said talking about having a conversation with your doctor. People talk about when talking about prostate stuff. Doctors already had that conversation twice that day, probably. Just because you've never had that conversation doesn't mean the doctor's going to be shy about it. They know what they're talking about. They go up there all the time.
Do I need to be worried? This is now episode 4, and this is the second time that we've talked about prostate stuff.
I think it's important to talk about all health stuff, and stuff that men don't talk about very well.
I'm slightly concerned that this podcast is just a ruse, and at some point you're going to offer to give me a prostate exam. It's just been.
Where's the lube? Well, there's a bottle of gin over there. I mean, that's got to come first.
Oh, yes.
We talk about romance. You've got to woo you first.
Maybe they can be our new sponsors. It's cork dry gin.
And this is what happens. You see, men get all uncomfortable and embarrassed and go, "Oh, I'm going to joke it off," but then they don't talk about
jerk it off.
No, joke it off. Come on, no, don't do that either. Anyway, so are there difficult conversations that you don't even have with your wife, your doctor, that you feel like you need to? Not necessarily about your health, but is that weird?
Do you mean me personally?
The weird looking boil that you keep on poking and never talk to anybody about your face?
I don't.
This is a slippery slope. It's just insult.
I tell you, if it's a serious question, I don't think so. Having said that, I haven't seen my doctor for some years.
The invisible man or woman.
Well, the doctor?
Yes.
I think it's me that's invisible. They're probably in the surgery every day. It's me that's not going. I think I'm in the system, right? And I don't feel it necessary to keep bothering my GP. There are plenty of people who overburden their GPs, aren't there?
We talked about last time. We talked about being a bad boss. So moving on as we go into the next bit,
and being a good boss.
And being a good boss.
I claimed to be a good boss, although it'll be interesting to see if people agree with that who work for me.
So when in one of my former guises, after 3 months, so after people completed their probation, which everybody did, I asked them to complete a public review of their role and their employment on I think it's Glassdoor. And I said to the person who's responsible for HR, you must guarantee to me that you will hold me accountable to the feedback that they provide publicly, because I felt that it was important for the future employees of the company. Yeah. This company I started.
Right.
Because I felt like, well, if they're not comfortable saying something publicly, then they will say it privately, in which case it's important that I understand what the feedback is and why it's been caused, if it's negative. And if it is positive, that we were able to use it. The result of that, and we looked after staff very well, and it was the highest rated employer in the county that the company was based in, which was in the southwest of England.
Well, congratulations.
So
that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
how many responses did you get?
6 or 7.
Okay.
It wasn't obligatory, but having a perfect 5-star score is not bad.
And probably got you a pay rise.
Well, unfortunately, the people who bought my company, they didn't really have the same attitude towards staff as I did, team members. So that's kind of one of the reasons why there was a sort of cultural mismatch between how I wanted to run the business and how I wanted to run the business. They were very commodity orientated, and I was very people orientated. A contributing factor, there were some other things as well, why I decided to leave that. So that was 4 years ago, 3 years ago now.
Is it still going?
Yeah, company's still going. So I own a little bit of it still.
Okay.
But yeah, they bought the bulk of it, which in itself is a bit of a weird one, because I was about to run out of money. I was looking around for investment, and I pretty much run out of money at that stage. I'd wrapped up. I think I'd taken on about £50,000 worth of personal debt. I'd been working on it for about a year and a half. Hadn't made any sales. Had basically gone down the wrong alleyway.
Right.
And was in the process of pivoting.
Mm.
And then suddenly realized, I'm going to run out of money in about 6 weeks' time. So I'm not sure if I'm able to complete this pivot. And so on the Thursday, I was going through the maths and sums and thinking, right, well, I've got to figure out a way of how to make this survive and go forward. Option 1 is sort of do nothing and just close it. So option 2 was getting a part-time job and keeping it ticking over. And option 3 was finding some more unsecured debt from somewhere, sell car, whatever. Just give me another few months of surviving and before I could complete the pivot. And so that was the Thursday. And the decision was, I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to stop working now. I'm going to sleep on it. And tomorrow I'm going to make a decision as to what to do. And so the following day comes Friday morning. And I think it was about 11:05 in the morning. My phone rings. And after having been rejected by probably 500 investors saying, not interested, thank you, don't like business model, don't like business, don't understand it, don't like you, not tall enough, whatever. This chap
Only Peter Jones would say that.
Chap at the other end of the phone says, really like your business, really interested, love the pitch. Only one thing, the pitch deck that we've got is from December, and I think it was around March or April at the time. So we just wanted to check whether or not it's still up to date and accurate. And I said, well, I was kind of on the back foot here and I probably made a bad business decision, but I made the decision to go on forward, which was, oh, right, well, this is the situation. This is the update. I've pretty much run out of money. So I'm prepared to sell quite a large percentage for not a lot of money because I was really worried about having all of this debt, which was on my own shoulders, my personal debt at this point. And I really couldn't afford to be saddled with that debt.
I can tell from your shirt.
Yeah. So, well, look at yours. So I made the decision to sell the company and then became an employee of this other company that bought my company. And did so, and they continued to invest over that period, over the following several years and built it up. So yeah, that was a last minute reprieve, but it meant I was wedded to them permanently. And I lost that ability to be my own boss, even though it gave me the financial security. So I then had what's called an earn-out clause, which was while I'd sold the entirety of the company, after X number of years and hitting X number of targets, I got 10% back. So I still have that 10%, but I no longer have any active part to do with that company at all.
But it still brings you an annual or a 6-monthly dividend.
I would like it to at some point in the near future.
So know that.
But it's so forward-looking as a technology company that it probably won't for another couple of years yet. I believe you have some questions you want to put.
Oh, yes.
Me.
Well, where to start? I've got an open question for you.
Then.
What newspapers do you read?
I don't. For fudge's sake.
Yes.
For the sake of fudge.
Why get me to ask an open question and then close me off entirely? Yes, it is.
No, it's not, because you're basically asking me whether or not I read newspapers.
No, I said, what newspapers do you read?
Yeah, but if I don't read newspapers, then it's a no.
If you did read newspapers, what would they be?
So there you go.
Hang on, let's roll this back a little bit. Why don't you read newspapers?
Because I don't need to. I get the internet is available in all good shops.
On all good phones.
Smartphone. The internet. There's plenty of information and so context. I've worked in news. When you work in news, you become addicted to the cycle of news. It is like a drug. It's very difficult to explain unless you experience it. The largest number of news stories and bear in mind, I worked in a very small specialist kind of bit an odd team. The most stories we published in a day was 27 working online, right? 27 stories, almost all on the same topic, right? During a particularly difficult time at the BBC, right? That the BBC was having, not what I was having.
I understand. Yes, no, I do.
And that level of intensity is something that probably very difficult to exist anywhere else. And it's very difficult to really care about news if you're not in it. For me, you also see a very different side of news when you're in amongst it, which is that the vast majority of people who are in the news, they're just people. They're just doing their job and something's gone wrong. Or they're just experiencing life and something's gone wrong. They're just having a bad day and it's turned into a mess. or they've just done something, they've made a bad error of judgment and they've been caught. Fundamentally, they still eat, they still...
Or they might have achieved something or done
They might have
something.
achieved something great. I mean, I've sat and talked with lots of really fascinating people. I've been very fortunate. I've interviewed really interesting people, Formula One drivers. I've been around quite well-known people, been around politicians before and after elections. They're just people. And so my appetite for news is kind of exhausted. It's not really there because I'm more interested in just having a cup of tea with somebody. So in terms of what happens on the grand stage, a lot of it might well be, especially if there's individuals who are making news headlines, a lot of it's just bluster. It's personality, it's ego, and it doesn't matter. And a lot of news isn't real news. It doesn't impact people.
I'm not sure where I've got this from, but was there a famous thing where someone said the news today, and there is no news, we'll go straight to the weather? And that never happened, right? I can't remember where that came from.
Well, there are lots of quiet... I mean, the terrible thing is when you have a quiet news day, which happens in the summer. So yeah, I'll read a newspaper. If I'm commuting into London, I'll pick up the Metro, but it's 2 days old already at that point, and it's not particularly in-depth reporting. News is something that's already happened. If you're doing a news program, there is a saying in news whereby you don't know what's in your news program until after it's finished, and that is because news is, and the reaction to news is happening while you're on air, and you're rewriting stuff while it's happening. You're getting new comments in. It's an evolving subject. You're getting reactions, and then the things that happen will uncover new elements, and it'll be a living, evolving thing. News story will evolve over time. So print is not for news because it's already happened. It's already been. Print is good for analysis. It's fantastic for analysis because you've got a story that is usually much more complete. More is known about it. People can then add context and background information and more in-depth conversation and connections to other things that are relevant. So economic impacts, political impacts, environmental impacts, let's say. So that's what print is good for. Print is not good for news. Print is great for analysis.
So what I have noticed, I mean, no one literally reads printed papers anymore. I read all my news online. And what I have noticed probably is a switch away from news stories to analysis and particularly the parliamentary stuff. There's lots of sketches and stuff now, which seem to be more of that than they used to be, or maybe I'm just reading more of it than I used to.
I think it's just easier because a newspaper cannot compete with online when it's talking about news. But
no, all of this stuff is online. That's what I'm saying. I'm reading the newspapers online. I'm not reading them the next day after they've been delivered through my door,
right,
because that doesn't happen anymore. I think The Independent was the first one to go completely online, although that seems to have sunk anyway, doesn't it?
The challenge with news online is that inherently the platforms which have good content and are freely accessible will be more successful. However, the company that recently, I think they're called Slow Media, I think, they started as an online only agency of people who were primarily ex-print, and they saw a value in this analysis side for online. They have started now buying newspapers,
right?
Because they've got the expertise, but they understand the online audience for that.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, don't read any newspapers, but I'm not a typical consumer of news. So my reasons for not reading newspapers are probably quite different from other people's reasons to not read newspapers.
Where I was coming from, what I was trying to angle at really is certain newspapers have got certain reputations. Yeah, that was really where I was going with that. To try and find out what angle you come from.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, my politics have changed over my life. So,
in which direction?
In the up direction.
I was thinking more left and right. Do you know where the left and right thing comes from?
Is it the sides of Parliament? The House of Commons?
Not here. No, it's not House. It's it was 1789 in the French Revolution, I think.
Okay.
They gathered everyone together, and the people who were what's now known as progressive sat on the left, and the people who are more conservative sat on the right. Literally sat on the benches.
What if you're at the other end of the building?
They use. That's Jeremy Corbyn.
Americans nearly spoke French.
Some of them do.
But more specifically, there was a vote to choose which language was the language of the realm in the United States of America when it was created as a nation. And because France supported America's war against the British, they decided to propose that French could be language of the realm. And it was defeated by how many votes, do you think?
One.
It was.
Did I get it right?
One vote. Absolutely.
I shouldn't.
And another thing.
I'm celebrating.
The difference between left and right.
No, hang on. Let's not move on from that.
I make tea for my wife, and I always put her tea on the left-hand side because I make her tea with oat milk, as she requires, and it's not right. It's really not right. So I put my tea on the right because it's made with cow milk, squeezed out of cow, as was intended by the tea gods of Yorkshire.
Maybe we've found some common ground for once. This might be the first thing we've agreed on. Is that milk is milk and it comes from a mammal, and oats don't have udders, so they can't be milk.
There's a big court case just recently
Oh, was
whereby
it?
they can't call it milk anymore.
Really?
And likewise, all other vegetarian, vegan products which have said, oh, it's like chicken, you can't call it like chicken
Call it
anymore.
like chicken.
You just say it's pretend. It's not
Apologies for
chicken.
that. Actually, you're right. It doesn't say milk anymore.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
free advertising for rude health. There, you
Yeah.
sponsor us.
no. Well, this is anti-advertising. Don't drink this. It's ridiculous.
But it's not milk.
It's not milk,
Yeah.
and it's not fit for human
It's how do
consumption.
you? What is that made from soy?
Says on the back, not fit for human
So
consumption.
when I took my wife for coffee, or she took me for coffee, she also had soy milk in her coffees sometimes. So I'd say, oh, can I have bean juice, please? Squeezed out of beans. And they said, do you want normal milk? I said, yes, I do, normal. And then I'd point out to my wife, did you hear the word that they used? Normal, not bean juice.
Although I do have some sympathy when vegans say, "Why are you drinking the product of another mammal?"
Yeah, I mean, who was it who first discovered it? Hang on, this stuff that just suck that, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it must be millennia ago that people discovered cow juice on their cornflakes.
Well,
would it have been cornflakes?
The cow juice.
Which came first?
Cow juice probably came before the cornflake.
Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Kellogg.
Yeah. Did he invent the cornflake?
It might have existed before.
How do you know that he didn't invent the milk to go on it? Maybe there was no milk consumption before Kellogg came along and invented his cornflakes.
I think there probably was. But speaking about food, and just going
but
back
you're
to
not
our
sure.
preceding conversation, I'm pretty certain that Mr. Kellogg did
Fine.
not invent
All right. I'll go along with
I'm
that.
pretty sure that cows invented milk. But speaking of milk, there's a couple of weird things there.
Right.
So I stumbled across this random documentary about camel milk, micro documentary about this woman who lived in, I think she was a British woman living in North Africa, insisting that camel milk is a really important product because it has fewer of the proteins that disagree with the human digestive system. And it's a closer match to human milk. But it can't be sold legally. This is a few years ago now, so that it might change. It can't be sold legally in the EU, which we've now left. So maybe camel milk is a new product that needs to come onto the market. So think about your shops.
One of the benefits of Brexit
is that camel milk is not recognised as a food product, so cannot be sold in the EU. But of course, when the UK left the EU, all of the laws that existed then were baked into UK laws.
I think who we have to blame are the people who failed to recognise that once outside the EU, we could do as we damn well pleased. And if we wanted to drink camel milk, what was to stop us? Now that the EU wasn't stopping.
I think the camels would stop you from drinking camel milk.
I might be challenged to milk them.
You've got a cat up high like this.
Yeah.
Have you ever ridden a camel?
Yes, I think so. Probably at what's the Whipsnade?
In this country? Oh, so you haven't.
Whipsnade Zoo is definitely in this country.
Yeah, I meant the camel.
I've ridden a camel here.
Have you read a camel in?
I've read Camus. If that helps.
If we're going to have a podcast called Pub versus Boardroom,
yeah,
we're going to be drinking alcohol. You've got to forgive the odd slip.
Yes, okay.
So camels in hot countries where there's desert and sand. Have you ridden a camel where they typically live?
No, I think it's cruel. I saw camels on the beach in Tunisia last year when we went to where did we go? Agadir, and I just thought,
Whamsong.
It was Black Lace, and it wasn't called. Although here's a fact: the song Agadir arose.
You mean Agadoo?
No, I mean the song Agadir started life being called Agadir and developed into Agadoo. And it wasn't Black Lace's song. It was a traditional, maybe not a traditional song, but it was something they'd heard and turned it into the song that it eventually became.
Traditional folk song.
Yes,
Agadoo.
exactly.
Let's find out. We'll check this through.
Traditional folk song from Butlins.
Right. Okay.
No, I've never ridden a camel since I was a child, and I don't think it would be right to ride one. Do you remember in the last episode I told you about my pub landlord called Mike?
Go on then.
Who used to do the lock-in?
Yes, I do remember.
His surname was Hamill.
Yes.
Big shout out to Mike. Who's
Mike Hamill? Close enough.
No, Mike Hamill, who used to get cross quite a lot, and we used to go, look, Mike Hamill's got the Yeah, that wasn't my joke. It wasn't my joke.
Definitely steer clear of comedy.
I have.
Yeah. With that joke, you definitely.
It wasn't my joke.
That's your excuse. Okay, let's ask some quiz questions. I think
okay.
We can.
We haven't done this for a few episodes, have we?
No, we haven't.
Right, what do you want? Anything in particular? Potluck.
Yeah.
Can you see that from there?
No, it doesn't matter what they are.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay. What about
just answer the questions? Oh, and while Jim's looking up the questions, please do like or subscribe. Yes, Jim, question time.
So we are not sponsored by Cheatwell Games, but they are a company that I have stocked in my shops over the years.
Hang on, they're called Cheatwell.
They're called Cheatwell Games.
Oh, well, I better have the answer question.
No, this is what I'm leading to.
Oh.
They are not our sponsor, and I'm not sure when we last bought their products to sell. But sadly, they haven't included any answers here. So
the answers are in that pamphlet, which are by your hand.
Oh, are they in here?
Yeah, they're in there. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I was going to say we're not going to be able to tell you the answer, but maybe we will.
I'll hopefully know the answer.
Well, let's see if
I'm
you do.
either going to throw the correct answer at you. I'm going to throw an answer at you so wrong from probably a wrong section that it takes us on to an idea which I've got, which is wrong answers only. Okay, so chuck out the question.
Well, I don't think you've invented that, by the way. But here we go. The question is, number 246, where does the Arctic tern migrate to?
This country. So the Arctic tern.
Where does the Arctic tern migrate to?
Well, I'm guessing that the Arctic is going to be a trick question. So I'm going to say South Africa or the Antarctic.
Oh, I can't believe you've got that right. The answer is the Antarctic.
Yes. Do you know why? Do you know why that's the obvious answer?
I misread the answer at first, and I thought this is bloody genius.
Right.
But I misread it as the Arctic, but it's not. The Arctic.
Do you know what Arctic means?
Yes, bear.
Right. Do you know what Antarctic means?
Not bear.
No bears.
Yeah, I do.
Right. So it's a
funny enough because I did Latin.
Right.
Just saying.
Okay, really helpful.
Yeah. Do Latin, kids.
So why would nothing, and this is a rhetorical question, why would nothing migrate to the Arctic? It's because there's nothing there.
Of course there's things there.
No, you're talking about the Antarctic. There's nothing in the Arctic. There's no land in the Arctic.
What?
Talking about the Antarctic. The Antarctic is land. It's a continent.
So
you go to the Arctic, it's just ice.
Yes, that's right.
Ocean. So there's nothing there. There's no food. There's nothing to go to.
Oh, I see. Because nothing can grow.
Technically, yeah. It's a static ice mass.
Yes,
but also technically a desert.
So yes. What?
Yep.
Because it's dry.
Because of the lack of precipitation. There are areas.
It doesn't snow in the Arctic.
I didn't say it didn't snow.
Well, that's what lack of precipitation means.
Right. But it doesn't snow very much.
Is that right? It doesn't snow very much in the Arctic.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So there are many deserts on Earth.
Yes.
All of them are sandy. All of them are dry.
No.
Without the lack of precipitation.
I don't think there's much sand in the Atacama Desert, is there?
Well, there's lots of deserts that are dry. That are deserts.
Yeah.
That's what.
No, I said there's not much sand in the Atacama.
Do you know what Sahara is?
Oh, does it mean big area of sand?
Close.
Is it?
What is it?
It's a big area of sand.
What is it?
Desert.
Right.
Does it mean desert?
It means desert, yeah.
Is this what we're reduced to?
Yeah. Etymology.
I love etymology.
It's got 6 legs and a hard shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tortoise means hard shell.
I was going to go with an entomology, homophone, homonym.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're going for the words versus insects thing. Right.
Yes.
What's the etymology of rubbish? I looked it up the other day. 14th century. The bits of brick that they no longer wanted, the half brick. Rubble, rubbish. See where this is going?
It's like rubble.
No, rubble, rubos, Rubus was the bits of brick that they didn't want when they were building a wall because they'd used half of it for the wall and they chucked it away. No, it's nothing to do with red.
That's not. No, well, room means red.
Yes, in certain languages, yeah.
In because we were talking about languages the other day about why we are.
The other week, it was about a month ago.
Yeah, talking about Latin and Romance languages, versus what we speak, which is English, which is a Germanic language. So to the extent that we have connections to Germanic languages, which is a type of tea, which is short for red bush, which is a South African word, which is Boer, which is Belgian, which is in turn a Germanic language. So Flemish, Belgian.
All nations are made up. They're all invented.
Political boundaries.
Can I go back to rubbish? Because I didn't finish it.
Okay. Is it interesting or is it rubbish?
It's rubbish-ish. It was from, maybe all right, maybe the bricks were red and that's why they were called rubosh or whatever it was. I can't speak 13th century
Flemish.
English.
Right.
No, English. It was an English word. And then that became just a description for anything that was unwanted. And then hence we're still using the word rubbish. So rubbish in its current form is probably only 300 or 400 years old. Before that it was rubos. But I think that's quite interesting because it's a strange word, isn't it, rubbish?
Yes.
I think it's like rub, but not quite.
All words are strange if you repeat them enough.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you ever drive yourself mad by saying the same word over and over till it loses its meaning?
I have done in the past, but I haven't done so recently.
If I was weeing sat down, I'd do that a lot more. But luckily I'm in and out and straight out before I can start thinking to do that.
Okay. I think you're letting that thought damage you in profound ways emotionally.
You didn't finish about the Arctic and Antarctic.
I answered the question. So that was a yes.
No, you were telling me about why it was more likely to find, you were more likely to find.
Yes, because there's food. South Pole. On land, there is food.
So what animals live on the North Pole? Famously the bears. Is that all that lives there? Because they're hunting the fish.
They're not living on the North Pole. They are predominantly around the land, which is in the Arctic Circle. And they might venture onto the ice, but not that far. So they might go 50 miles onto the ice, perhaps, but they'll be hunting seals.
Seals, yeah. But don't they famously get a saw and then they make a little circle in the ice so that it can get the seals out?
Absolutely, yeah.
Don't they do that? I've seen that.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to eat seals.
I'm sure they carry little saws with them, don't they?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. They're also, here's a weird thing about polar bears. Not only are they exceptionally dangerous. Have you ever been to a museum where they've got a polar bear skeleton or a stuff?
Yes, there's one in Dover. There's one in Dover that
terrifyingly big.
It's huge.
But
I mean, they had to raise the ceiling to get it in.
Attracted by the scent of petrol.
Wow.
Which means that if you're on an expedition, and this did happen a few years ago, there was an expedition of school children, very wealthy school children, obviously, to the Arctic Circle. And
you say wealthy? Well, where were they from?
From Kent.
Oh, well, then they probably were wealthy. Yeah. I mean, if they lived at the North Circle,
and the polar bears attacked their camp and I believe killed several members of the group.
No.
Yeah. And they were attracted by, so their guides are armed. They've got shotguns.
That definitely wasn't in the news.
It was a few years ago now, so yes, it was. But you need to be reading newspapers for that.
I know. I've never
looking online. Yeah. So horrible story, but unfortunately, yes. So polar bears are also attracted by the smell of petrol. They got or gas, as they say in the former colonies.
Do you want another one?
Yeah, go on. Have I got any wrong yet? Of all the questions you've asked?
Yeah, you did. You did. In the first week, you thought it was Anne of Cleves, and I said I think it's Anne Boleyn.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I said that, but there are two lands to choose from when it's 500 years ago. So
I'm not quite sure how I can remember that far back. I mean, that's weeks ago.
Oh, I thought you meant 500 years ago.
Well, that's
your childhood.
Okay, all of these are really easy. So the hardest one.
Easy if you know the answer.
For what is dipsomania another name? Hey, dipsomania.
No idea.
You got one wrong. You would have got all the answers right.
I haven't actually given an answer.
Do you want to have a guess then before I get to the answer?
Dip. Well, no, because it's not about Diplodocus.
You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this.
Is it deserts? Is it obsession with deserts?
It's what unites our former fathers.
Alcoholism.
Yeah, it's alcoholism.
Dipsomania.
Yeah. You must be manic for the old dipsos. Lucky dip. That's what happens when you put your hand in drinks cabinet.
I see.
Maniac.
I do know why a hangover is called a hangover.
Oh, I know this.
Go on. You want to say it?
Well, it might be different.
Well,
Is
I
it?
hope it is the same fact. Otherwise, it's a different fact.
It might be a
Cheap accommodation.
yes, where they used to hang lines out in the stables, and you would sleep, literally sleep on a line.
You'd be literally hung over a line strung between two walls.
I don't think this is right.
There are photographs.
I have seen a photograph of people sleeping on what looks to be washing lines. It could be staged, or it could be something else.
So the same period of time where I got very drunk with my neighbour, 7 bottles of wine, we had a party. It was the same dwelling. We had a party, and one of the mothers of my stepdaughter's friends came along, got quite drunk, and then vanished. And we all thought, I wonder where she's gone. And her partner said, oh, she must have walked home. She was already quite the worse for wear when she walked home. And so apparently he found her asleep in a hedge, and she didn't live close by. She lived about 2 miles away.
We've all done it.
I haven't. I might have driven into a hedge sober, but I've never slept in a hedge drunk. She's a respectable-ish woman. Mother, parent.
I once
asleep in a hedge. Very drunk.
Can I tell you a story about a drunken walk?
Well, the distance to the local pub is about a quarter of a mile, but the distance home is staggering.
But boom, you said you weren't going to do comedy.
Well, it's other people's jokes.
Oh, right.
It's easy. That's not comedy.
So in 1998,
so your 50th year,
procured myself tickets to Twickenham for, I think it may have been England against Ireland on the Saturday. And it was at a period when the Millennium Stadium was being built in Cardiff, and Wales were playing their games in Wembley. And I also got tickets for the Wales game on the Sunday. And I went to the match on Saturday, had a great time, found myself stumbling around at chucking out time, going, how am I going to get home to Rochester, which is where I lived? And then worked out I've missed all the trains. So I then thought, well, how far is it from Twickenham to Rochester? It's probably 25 miles. Probably.
Good guess. Totally wrong.
Is it? How far is it from Twickenham to Rochester?
Well, it depends. Is the crow drunk?
Amazingly. I can't fly.
Can the crow get on a train?
No, because the trains are stopped. That was the whole point.
So as the crow flies, I mean, here Rochester's down near on the Thames estuary, right?
So not quite. It's nearby.
You go down.
Just need to go west to east. Yeah, I definitely wasn't going to go down the river.
No. I mean, the edge of the river.
The river would have been a good way to go. No.
So it's actually fairly straight line. You could, So
if you could walk on a straight line,
might be a good guess, actually.
Yeah. So I gave this some thought, and I thought, well, how far could the Romans march in a day? And I think the Romans were marching 25 miles in a day. If the Romans can do it, I was a young man.
Yeah.
If the Romans can do it, I can do it. So off I set from I think by this time we were in some pub in the outskirts of Twickenham somewhere. I didn't know which direction I was going in. No mobile phones. Certainly no mobile phones with directions.
So put out your stone tablet.
Yes.
All of the Roman towns etched onto it.
Rochesterus. Anyway, I walked for an hour. And I had to get home because I had the tickets at my house for the following day, including, and I'd bought 6 and invited 5 of my mates to come. So, and they were all meeting at my house at 10 in the morning the next day to travel back up. Okay. So I had to get back.
So you walked overnight.
I walked all night. I walked for at least an hour and then thought, well, I need to find out where I am. I must be at Dartford by now. I found a bus stop and I thought, okay, the bus stop will tell me where we are, where I am. Bus routes around Twickenham.
You've been walking in circles.
I probably had.
It's one of your legs dramatically shorter than the other leg. And that's the danger it does.
Yeah,
but not in London, in West London.
Wasn't that the joke on Carry On in the Desert? Carry on, follow that camel.
But it's true. I mean, you do, if you walk into a large open area with no guide, you will probably walk in a circle because one of your legs is shorter than the other. Only by a fraction of an inch. But also you'll get...
Not in the desert, though, because you'll be able to see your footprints behind you.
Not necessarily. Because that's the other misnomer about, or misunderstanding about deserts, is that there's an assumption that it is sand. But actually, the Sahara is probably a quarter of it is rocky outcrops and dry mud and so forth.
Yeah, that's
And old riverbeds that are not sandy that way. So you read any book about desert adventures, and actually, yes, there are great big areas of sand, but there's also great big areas of other stuff that isn't sand.
someone should have told the Carry On team that, because I distinctly remember in Carry On follow that camel.
Well, they
There
filmed
was a
all of
lot
that.
of sand
They filmed all of that in Kent,
in Margate.
yeah, places like that. Yeah.
The big sandy beach.
So talking about missing the last bus home, I've got a little story which was also involved far too much alcohol, but being a media darling, it was a launch party for a TV show, and stayed there and got very drunk, and it was West London again.
Right.
So it was the launch party for a TV show with a quite well-known Hollywood star.
Would I know this program? Are you being coy, or are you just worried that I'm not going to know it?
It was years ago now, so I don't mind. I got over the.
Well, tell the viewers, both of them.
Yeah,
what
sure.
was the program, and who was the celeb?
It was Long Way Down.
Long Way Down.
Yeah, it was Ewan McGregor and Charlie Gorman.
Oh, Long Way, about the bikes.
Yeah.
So you were involved in that, were you?
Yeah. So I've done lots of
I
TV
remember
stuff.
that.
Yeah, I worked in TV for like 10 years. So I've got lots of celebrity stories. And bring those out. That's fine. Anyway, so roll out of the party at about midnight, having had a bit too much to drink. It's all free, so great. And then wander up to Shepherd's Bush, get to the station, realise the last train had gone 40 minutes earlier, which is a bit disappointing considering how early in the evening out to London.
I know.
And then
They should run all night.
Well, the only thing I've got on me is my BBC staff pass. And the BBC, being a news organisation, is most of their buildings, they're 24 hours.
Yeah.
Certainly in London, the big buildings where my office was. So I ended up staying the night in a meeting room next to my own office. And then very sheepishly, I was talking to my wife and saying that I'd made a terrible mistake. And very sheepishly going home to get on the first train, I think it was like 5:30 in the morning, going home, having not slept a wink and being rather wretchedly miserable in this meeting room next to my office. Gone home, showered, changed, going back straight away, got straight on the next train back to the office, and had a very awful day, feeling particularly hungover at the office. And yes, I'm perfectly fine. Luckily, I didn't have to report on any of the previous evening's shenanigans. That I was back to entertainment. Yeah, it's good fun.
Did you not consider just not going back to work that day, or would that have been?
I think it would have been a bit too obvious. There was plenty of that happened in other departments. No, I really enjoyed that particular job. I did that job, I think, for about 6 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, and it was particularly cool and enjoyable because it was putting interactive stuff around TV shows, and that particular one was convincing commissioners effectively. It was a team effort. It certainly wasn't a solo effort to have live updates from, maybe not live, but sent back via satellite video clips of what they were doing while they were doing it. So for their security and safety, it was delayed by a few days,
right?
Because some of the parts of Africa they were going to were dangerous. But fundamentally, the commission paid for their camera operator, Claudio, to follow them and then upload a lot of the stuff that he shot, behind the scenes stuff, back to us, and we put it online on the website. And it was, at the time, it was the biggest online commission that BBC had ever had, which was quite a lot of money at the time. But now that seems like a completely normal thing to do. Behind the scenes and live updates. But it was a real battle to get that commissioned. But now it's a completely normal thing to do.
My memory of them doing that project was going across Asia. Did they do several seasons?
That's long way around. So they've done several different versions for different broadcasters. So the first one, I think, was Sky, and that was Long Way Round. Or they commissioned it, they paid for it themselves off the back of. So Russ, the guy who was the exec producer, was a genius when it came to getting sponsorship stuff. Because he'd been, I think, a powerboat racer. Okay. So his side hustle was pretty much getting sponsors to pay for his powerboat racing hobby. And he'd worked out that, especially if you've got celebrities involved, you can leverage that to generate sponsorships. Yeah. And then when he lucked out, didn't do so well on the sponsorship side, got a massive book deal for the book. It was all ghostwritten, publishers on behalf of Charlie Borman and Ewan McGregor, because Charlie it's well known, he's very severely dyslexic.
Can I ask,
and Ewan McGregor,
who is he?
Charlie Borman, he's the son of a film director called John Borman, who was very active in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and directed, among other things, The Wicker Man, and I believe
With Iwa Wuwa.
Yeah, indeed. Add in as many D's to that as you wish, and you'll get who we're talking about. Good reference, though. I love that. So that's my story of having missed the last bus home. Hollywood, Africa.
Got us to the Wicker Man.
Yeah, got us to the Wicker Man. But lovely chaps. But yeah, it was ghostwritten. But it generated all the money they needed to do this amazing adventure, and then BBC came in with a pittance of the money afterwards to do the online thing. And then the TV show effectively became an advert for the book. And I think they did another one, was it Long Way Up? On the Pan American Trail, Trans American Road.
What's that, from Buenos Aires up to north of Canada or something?
Yeah, to Anchorage, I think. And then Claudio, the camera op, who I got fairly friendly with, and in similar sort of environment, spent a lot of time in his kitchen drinking coffee. He then went off and did more of that sort of adventure camera film stuff. But he's a proper hardcore documentary filmmaker. He actually started his career with the Taliban.
As you do.
As you do. So he dropped out of university. He got his grant to go to university, and he was watching on the news this was in the 80s, I think, the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan.
Yeah, the Taliban were fighting the Russians, weren't they?
Right. He saw that, well, I need to go where the action is. He cashed in a student loan, bought a film camera, and got himself to Afghanistan, and started interviewing all of these, as they were known then, Mujahideen. So the Afghani freedom fighters ended up doing an interview. One of the first people to interview the chap who later became Bin Laden's money man. Yeah, so he built a career selling this footage as what's referred to as a stringer, selling footage to Western news outlets, and then turned himself into this really gifted and very hardworking and brilliant documentary filmmaker. And I was very privileged to done a little bit of work with him, not a lot, but yeah, cool guy. That's what happened when I missed the last bus.
Let's see.
We did via the entirety of Africa. Marketing campaigns. We'll talk about business. We did a lot of business in the last episode. We do a little bit now.
We did quite a lot earlier in this episode.
Yeah, okay. So there's two marketing campaigns that have one recently has made me laugh, which is a local business.
Really?
Which I really like, yeah. And it was reminded I was running last night, which is why I don't know if you noticed, but I actually flinched earlier because I've got cramp in my shins.
Don't start.
So I went for a long run last night.
Yes.
And I ran past a house which had this company's product on it, and they had a little sign up outside. There's a company called Big Time Scaffolding.
Oh, well, they're based down the road.
Right. And I love their marketing because with a name like Big Time Scaffolding, you're thinking ego. You're thinking they're full of themselves. But why I love their marketing is they have smart cars.
They do.
They have smart cars everywhere. And every time I see one, I think, no ego, and they make me happy to see them.
They drink in the village pub. They're based not far from here. And if you want to meet them, you just go to the station pub on Friday afternoon after about 3:00, and you'll meet all the scaffolders in there.
Right. They're a funny breed, scaffolders. I'm not sure if I would necessarily socialise with them.
I think they enjoy themselves when they're in the pub.
I'm sure they do. And they seem like happy people, scaffolders generally, but they're not like me.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't like me.
I met one.
But that's quite a big number of people. So
I once hired a scaffolder to put some scaffolding up on my
That's
shop.
a sensible decision. Did you do any course to make that decision?
I had recently done a NEBOSH course where I didn't need to know. I did a whole day. I remember going to a module, which was an entire day, on different types of tie for scaffolders. The tie is the way that they attach it to the building. If you don't attach your scaffolding to the building, it tends to blow over and crush cars.
So an Oxford knot, a bow tie.
It was like that. So I'd not long come back from this course, and I spoke to the scaffolder, and he'd agreed to put the scaffolding on my shop at Dorking so we could repaint it. And I said to him, Just out of interest, what sort of tie are you doing? Are you doing a box tie or are you doing a...
He must have loved it.
He just looked at me and went, who the hell are you? How do you know about this stuff? Because people don't, unless they're a scaffolder. Anyway, he said, no, we're just doing a straightforward window tie. Why would we do anything else? I was like,
fool.
okay, I don't really know what...
You've immediately been shot down with your precious knowledge that you hard earned, like you know nothing.
Yeah, I know. I tried to impress him and I do remember his face when I said it. Like, I think it's
Suddenly
like secret language. Yeah. There's not many people who know the difference between this stuff. So, yeah.
And any type of expertise, there's a secret language.
Yes, there is.
You know, you lift the hood, you open the door, and then the magic just disappears.
Yes, I think
so
that's
suddenly realize, ooh, you can speak the words of my hidden tongue.
I think I got a discount because I knew about one. My ties.
So pay for yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, marketing. So the other thing that I like, and I don't understand why nobody else knows this, because I thought it was the most brilliant bit of copywriting I've ever come across. It's on a product I don't even like. So it's a soft drink called Vimto, which I despise, right?
But you were talking about Ribena earlier.
Yeah, I love Ribena. Yeah.
Isn't Vimto the same as Ribena?
Completely different. Vimto tastes like Ribena, but has had chewed rainbow chewing gum dropped into it.
Oh, too sweet.
It's just wrong.
Is it?
It's just wrong. It's full of awfulness.
Vimto.
Anyway,
it's been around a long time.
But they had this little advertising campaign, which was you have to try the things you don't like in order to find things that you do. And I think
like Marmite.
Apart from the copywriting aspect, it's a nice way to look at life and adventure. Like I said to you earlier, before we started, Jim was complaining that it was raining and he was stuck at the office. Well, I said to him, go and jump in puddles on the way. And did you? No, you probably just waited.
I stepped over the puddles.
In terror. Oh, the raindrops. They're so big and scary. You're waterproof. Slightly porous. But it would have been a nice thing to experience. Would have not. Jump in puddles, stand in the rain.
If I was 5 instead of 56.
Isn't it nice to think like a 5-year-old? Once in a while?
I can't remember. Maybe.
A long time ago.
I'd be putting slugs on my snails on my tongue.
Don't go there. Don't go there. That's like a red rag to a bull. You say the S word. Get out. Get out. So, marketing. Your shop doesn't have a website. And the reason that your shop doesn't have a website.
My shop does have a website. It's just not the same name as the shop has got outside it. I do have a website. Well, I say my business has a website. It's differently branded. It's called Zebra Blush, and it is our website. So I told you earlier that, or maybe last episode,
the franchise,
that the franchise agreement. So when we started talking about selling stuff online, we weren't allowed to do it because the name of the shop, which we trade under, doesn't belong to us. And so we invented a new brand, which is where you will find all the stuff that is for sale in our
does
shop.
Anybody use that shop?
Oh, yeah. What, the online shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, we generate some revenue.
Is it a shop's worth of revenue?
No, it'd be nice if it was.
And do you think that's because it's the name is the brand?
No, there's the type of things that we sell are the types of things that you discover.
I go to your shops and think, I wonder if there's a gift for this person. This gift I need to buy. I need to buy a gift. I don't know what the gift's going to be. So it's a moment of discovery, and it is tactile. A lot of stuff is like, does it look nice? Does it feel nice? What does it taste?
Does it taste like? Yeah, no, don't be eating stuff.
Yeah,
we do sell certain edible things, like expensive chocolate bars, novelty chocolate bars, stuff like that. But so there are the majority of our customers will say, "Oh, that's a nice looking shop. Let's come and see what they've got," and then they'll walk out with something. You do get a certain type of customer, if you can call them a customer, who will come in, select something, go, I can probably find this cheaper online, and then go home and deliberately source it from Amazon or something like that.
Yeah.
We don't like them. That's not a good way of doing business, really.
Well, not for you, but for them, it's a very good way.
Yeah, it's just they're going to kill the high street, and then they won't have anything left to see in the first place, and then they're on their own, really. But there are plenty of people like that. Actually, I say plenty. I think it's more the exception than the rule. The rule is that people come in, they find things, they pick it up, exactly like you said. They like the feel of it, they like the weight of it, they like the look of it, and then they bring it up and they buy it. What we don't really benefit from is people going, I need a light bulb or the practical things that that men typically buy. Go, I've run out of light bulbs. I need to buy some. Let's go and find a website where we can find it.
Sure. That's not what you sell, though, is it? I mean, it's gifts.
No, but what I'm saying is we're not selling things in shops that people go online to buy. And so I think inevitably our stronger side is going to be the physical stores always.
Yeah.
And the weaker part of it is going to be the online stuff. So it's difficult. And also marketing, for the same reason, people walk past the window and see things in the window and then come in. So I remember years and years ago.
So the window display is really important, actually.
Oh,
and I think you're as a team, your window displays, are they organized so that there's the same windows across all of the stores at the same time? Also, is it run by managers individually based on the calendar?
Claire tends to do it, and she likes to share this stuff around.
So your wife?
Yes, that's right.
Or girlfriend?
Yes, or both. And she's quite talented at this. A number of the staff are quite talented at this, and they change the windows very often to see, and that's what entices people in. Yeah. And it's quite an art. I remember having a go myself in the very early days and just giving up. I can't do it.
I will say, as a shopper, I've bought stuff in your shops, and your window displays are very nice.
Thank you.
Very tasteful. In fact, a weird random segue, there is another video on the channel that I uploaded 10 years ago. It's the only other video that's on this channel, is a video of my cat as a kitten playing fetch with something I bought in one of your shops, which is a giant stuffed toy.
Right.
And so, have a look at the channel, find kitten
I'm going to
fetch. And I lived in Reigate and I bought that stuffed toy from the Landry 10 years ago.
I'm going to look.
And he is now 11 years old.
Am I going to have to report you for abuse of the products that I'm selling? Has the cat torn it apart?
No, it was bigger than him.
I see.
But he picked it up in his mouth and waddled over. That's quite adorable. But more people have watched that than this. So maybe check it out.
The cat.
We are running out of time. We have run out of time.
Have we? Okay.
Again. And we pretty much ran out of beer.
Oh, yes.
So so I will say again, thank you very much for joining us. Please do hit the like button and then the subscribe button. I don't know what the hand gesture is for subscribe, but subscribe. And thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to add some comments down below. I'll send us your questions, comments, queries, disdain, jokes, whatever. Ask us to talk about stuff. We have plenty of time, and we're both drinking too much beer. So we just need things to talk about. So give us a shout. And until next time, thank you very much. And Jim, it's been a pleasure as always. So chin chin.
Cheers, Alex.
And see you next time.
See you next time.